I am so full. No wonder extreme hunger is distressing. I'm feeling distressed and I don't even have to do this. It's like not even 11 o'clock and I have to like at least wait until tomorrow before I can start what I eat in a day, because otherwise it's not in a day. But I am so tired. I want to be asleep. Like, I can't believe that I need to stay awake in order to eat. Either that or I need to wake up really early to eat. If you're new here, hi, my name's Millie. I'm 18 years old and 3 years ago I started documenting my recovery from anorexia on YouTube. I am so tired. Which I have to admit was a bold decision as a 15-year-old. One of my earliest and most watched videos was this one, a what I eat in a day whilst I was experiencing extreme hunger. Extreme hunger is a phenomenon that many people experience after a period of restriction, and therefore common in recovery from anorexia. The length and extremity of this hunger varies from person to person. In my case, I started experiencing it a few weeks after I properly committed to recovery, and it slowly calmed down within a few months. I thought I would recreate this video 3 years on, now that I've fully recovered from my eating disorder, because I've always been interested to know how extreme actually was my hunger. I would say I have a pretty fast metabolism, as I still consume a fair amount of food, even though I'm no longer gaining weight. And I wondered if the amount of food that felt extreme at the time would actually not be far off what I eat normally now. I had a sneaking theory that my extreme hunger never really subsided. I just got used to eating that amount of food, and so did my body. When I filmed the original video back in 2021, I had insane amounts of energy. My body had been running on zero for so long that when I finally started fueling it, I was bouncing off the walls. I was barely sleeping when I first started recovery, and so my day began in the early hours of the morning with a big bowl of Weetabix, banana, peanut butter and Nutella. I used to start my mornings with yogurt, granola and fruit, which is what I still have for breakfast now. At the time, I questioned if everything I ate was too much, which is understandable because I didn't know what a healthy relationship with food would look like for me. Recovery from an eating disorder involves a lot of trial and error, and during a phase of extreme hunger especially, if you do experience it, it can evoke some big feelings and fears. The best way I got through it was by trusting the process and letting my body do its thing. So even though it felt like I would literally never stop eating and that I might actually die from how physically full I was, I kept going and it was so worth it. This is my first time having juice in so long. I think like when I filmed this original video I was still like conscious of like the CAMS meal plan, which obviously said like consume juice with every meal, and it was like a big fear food of mine, so I was trying to like get over it. And this is still such a go-to breakfast of mine, it's so good. Something that I asked myself again and again during this time, and that I also get asked by you guys, is was I binging? And no, I can tell you now, confidently, as someone who can reflect on the past objectively, that no, I was not binging. I wasn't out of control, I hadn't gone too far the other way, and I certainly wasn't developing a different eating disorder. I understand now that these fears came from the eating disorder itself, and whilst they seemed rational and plausible at the time, there was no truth in them. It's understandable that at the time, to feel out of control, going from meticulously counting every single calorie I consumed to eating huge, unmeasured portions at all hours of the day and night. That's a big change for anyone, and for someone with an eating disorder, it's a scary one too. I didn't mention anywhere about having a cup of tea, but I do not want to start my day without a cup of tea. I feel like at the time I was so obsessed just with like getting food in that I wasn't really thinking about like what liquids I consumed, especially if they weren't like gonna fill me up. Okay, so I really need to have my snack now if I'm gonna fit it in before lunch. But I'm still really full from breakfast, which is a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. I can't remember what the snack is. Okay, I had a granola bar melon and a coffee. I know for a fact that we don't have any melon. I was going to buy one, but then I was like, it's not going to be ripe within one day, so I was like, I'll just have some other fruit. I do have granola bars and coffee, so to be honest, it's not a very big snack. Like, I could easily manage that now. This is the outfit of the day. Here's how I know that what I was doing wasn't binging. Feelings of extreme hunger are extremely normal after periods of restriction, which I had been through. Because of that restriction, my stomach's capacity for food was actually very small, and so my brain was telling me to keep eating when my belly was telling me to stop. On reflection, I also know that I wasn't binging because it subsided all on its own, without any need for intervention, therapy, or new food rules to get my eating back under control. It was terrifying at the time, but that's because I thought it would keep going forever. So let me tell you now, as someone who's come out of the other side of it, happier and healthier than ever, that you are doing the best and the healthiest thing you could possibly be doing right now by honouring your hunger fully, no matter how extreme it may feel. I cut up a nectarine because I don't have any melon. Got a granola bar. Don't think it's the exact same one that I had 3 years ago, but you know, it was 3 years ago. And I've got a coffee. In the original video I did have a hot coffee, but it is way too hot to be drinking a hot coffee. So, you know, it's the same sort of vibe. This is pretty similar to a snack that I'd have now, I can't lie. Like, this doesn't scream extreme hunger to me. If anything, this is like a smaller snack than what I normally have. Maybe not for a morning. I'd say, like, I don't often have a morning snack anymore, but that's just because I don't wake up early enough to fit in breakfast and a snack in before lunch. I just can't believe that it's been 3 years since I filmed that video, because it feels like so much has changed, but in other ways, like, that's still me. Like, I'm still I'm still so much of her. Yeah, it was weird watching it back. My voice has changed. My voice got so much deeper. I don't know if that's a thing. Well, it must be a thing because it's happened to me. Yeah, I like to think that my voice is a bit less annoying now. And like, overall I'm just a lot less stressed about stuff. Like, I feel a lot more like grounded, down to earth than I was. But other than that, I feel like me and her are we're the same gal. Sorry, I'm just looking at my cactus and it doesn't look like it's thriving. It's not even a cactus, it's a succulent. You need to water that. I was so confident that I was going to be able to do today with ease, because since choosing recovery and developing extreme hunger, I never made the conscious decision at any point to start eating less. This concept scared me at the time, because what if I kept eating that way forever and I continued gaining weight until I couldn't walk, which I was totally convinced could happen? Or what if the only way to stop eating that much was by re-engaging with disordered or restrictive behaviours? I genuinely couldn't see how honouring my extreme hunger would ever work out well. It turns out I must have naturally started eating less over time without even noticing. I haven't had soup for ages. It's actually a really nice lunch. Because by the end of today I was so uncomfortably full that I actually felt ill. It must have happened gradually, as I genuinely had no idea until I filmed this video. For me, this is proof that if you trust your body, it will look after you. Because despite my fears, I let myself be led by my body throughout the recovery process, rather than my brain, which was telling me to do all of the opposites. Listening to my body worked, and it still does. Just like when I had extreme hunger, I still honour all of my hunger signals, mental and physical, and my body has naturally settled into a place that is happy and healthy. I'm gonna do Sudoku while I eat. I'm really trying to get out of the habit of just like sitting and watching TV. So while I was away travelling, I spent loads of time just like reading and playing games, stuff like that. And since I've been back, it's just been like spending too much time in front of the screen. Afternoon snack number 1. It was meant to be a bagel, but we don't have any plain bagels, which I'm sorry, I apologise. Should have probably bought some bagels. I don't know why, I just thought that we had some, but I was like, okay, 2 pieces of toast, kind of the same vibe. I've got 2 snacks to fit in this afternoon. So I'm eating this one now. Like, I really want to go to the gym or do something to move my body. But I was like, if I go before I eat this, then I'm gonna have to like cram 2 snacks in just before dinner. I never have like these toast toppings anymore. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I had like just plain peanut butter on toast. It is nice though. And the yogurt. I had yogurt with breakfast. Well, before breakfast, but I don't really mind having another one. It was around this time that the amount of food I had been eating started catching up to me, because there just weren't as longer breaks in between meals as I'm used to. This is when I first started to consider that maybe it wasn't going to be super easy after all. Now I'd say I generally do have 3 meals and 3 snacks in a day, but I think the main difference was the portion sizes. I actually found this to be a very cool comparison to make, because I never weighed or measured anything out at the time during my extreme hunger, and I still don't now. So by listening to my body's needs without even noticing it, I've naturally reduced my portion sizes. That is really what I'm trying to emphasise here, that your body knows what it is doing, and it knows you so much better than the back of any packet or than any diet plan you can be given. At the time I was on a CAMS meal plan, but that totally went out the window because it just wasn't enough food for me, and I didn't want to be dictated to by a piece of paper, which was totally the right move. Okay, I've got snack number, I don't know, 4 maybe? Which is the same as what I had in the middle of the night. More Weetabix, banana, and just Nutella this time, not peanut butter as well. So, you know, I really do know how to switch things up. I never eat Weetabix anymore, but they are actually quite a nice snack. Well, they would be if I was hungry. I can't lie. I'm literally still full from my last snack, even though I've just been to the gym. And things I do for YouTube, hey? I was originally intending not to do any exercise today, because I know when I filmed this video 3 years ago, it was during the time where I wasn't exercising at all. But I was just feeling really shit earlier, and I was like, I need to move my body, because exercise is, for me, like a guaranteed way to make myself feel a bit better, and it has. So I literally went to the gym for like half an hour just to move around a bit, and while I was there I realised that I am feeling rubbish. 1, because my period's due, and 2, because I have not been very good at taking my meds. Don't worry, I have taken them now. It's just like, if they're not out in front of me, then I will forget to take them. Like, I tidied them away the other day and put them in like a little place there, and I don't think I've taken them since, because like I haven't woken up every day and looking at them. After this I'm gonna head over to dance, and then I'm gonna have dinner when I get back. It's also interesting to note that the more you ignore your extreme hunger, the longer and more intense it will be. There's no getting around it, so my best strategy was to try and enjoy it, which I did begin to manage at some point. For so long, food had only brought me stress and guilt, and for the first time I finally started to regain some of my love for food by making and eating things that I really fancied. At the time, I felt totally obsessed and overwhelmed with food, which is one of the reasons why I was unsure if I was binging or if honouring my extreme hunger was actually the right thing to do. But it definitely all worked out okay because I'm totally unbothered by food now. Of course I love food because it tastes nice and it keeps me alive, but other than that, food is just food. If I tried to explain that to me 4 years ago, my eyeballs probably would have exploded from all the questions that I had. Trust the process, listen to your body, and don't give up if it feels like things are getting worse rather than better, would always be my main advice. Good evening, I'm back from dance. My mum made me this lovely meal. I know that on the original video I had, I think it was like spaghetti and meatballs. Oh my gosh, I just realised I didn't bring any cutlery with me. I'm gonna have to go back and get some. But my mum very kindly made me this, and I'm not turning down a lovely home cooked meal. And this is also a meal that I used to eat a lot while I had extreme hunger. It's just easier to eat when you have cutlery. For dinner, I always ate with my family and had the same portion sizes as I do now. Can't believe I'm eating more food. I'm so full. I haven't had banana pancakes in ages. Even though at the time they didn't fill me up enough, I am glad that we reinstated the ritual of eating together. Recovery from a restrictive eating disorder isn't simply about getting as much food in as possible. It's about learning to reframe how you see food. It's about treating food as more than just fuel. Family meals taught me to appreciate the social aspect of eating that has brought people together for centuries. There is something so special about sharing a meal with your loved ones, and it was important to remember that recovery was bringing that back for me. So even if the people you're eating with serve different portion sizes than you would choose for yourself, or if they prepare a meal you otherwise wouldn't make for yourself, my advice would always be to join in. You've got thousands of meals to enjoy throughout your life, so if one isn't perfect, who cares? Compromise isn't a bad thing. I can't lie, I was absolutely dreading having to have what's basically a whole other meal after I finished my dinner, because I am so full, but I haven't had banana pancakes in so long and they do look so good. You can't really see, but like I am so bloated. And like it's okay eating like this just for 24 hours, but I don't know how I used to eat like this every single day, like, because I was physically a lot smaller than I am now. No wonder the extreme hunger felt so uncomfortable, because physically it would have been like an uncomfortable amount of food to fit in my stomach. So I do feel for my past self, like feeling probably feeling physically full, but also feeling hungry and like I needed to keep eating. I can't lie, that's so flipping good. Today really made me relive some of the distressing feelings that come with experiencing extreme hunger. Even as someone who's fully recovered, I still found today hard. If you're currently experiencing extreme hunger, please know that you aren't failing because you're finding it hard or uncomfortable, because physically and mentally it's a tough thing to go through. It's crazy thinking about like how if I was actually experiencing extreme hunger, in a couple of hours I probably would get up again and start all over again with like my Weetabix and banana. Like after this, I am gonna be full for so long. But yeah, I'm just like telling myself that like after this I'm done, don't have to eat anything more. But like for me 3 years ago, this wouldn't have been done. This would have been like just one meal of many. Like I was probably eating every 2 hours. Just remember that you are doing the right thing by honouring it, even if no one in your life can relate or even understand. Also, it does get better. The physical and mental sensations I have today, I haven't experienced since I had extreme hunger over 3 years ago. Everything you're feeling now will pass, so just trust the process because things will get easier slowly and surely. I'm so glad this tastes so good, otherwise I could not be getting through this. I don't know if the water helps or if it just makes me feel more full. Thank you for joining me today and watching me suffer through an insane amount of foods. Nearly there. I hope you guys enjoyed this and that maybe it provided some insight into the realities of extreme hunger. Final mouthful. To any of you currently going through it, I feel for you. I'm sending you so much love and strength. Things will get better, I promise. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.